Hello, my name is Chad, and I'm here at Sunset Park. And going to do a little recording on one of my weekly activities, and that would be playing on the playground, swinging in trees, doing gymnastics, rock throwing. This is generally what I call my Tuesday activity. I have a different activity I do on the different days of the week, and this is Tuesday. It's kind of the um, most vigorous day of the week. It kind of builds to this point and then kind of goes down a little bit from them. So this would be the most vigorous day. And I am just demonstrating some of the things I do. And just to let you know, I've been doing this since I turned about 22, this particular activity situation of the week. And in 2015, my shoulders went out. I don't know why, but they just did, to the point where I couldn't even put on my own coat. My family would help me with that. A lot of things happened in that year. And so I'm in a rebuilding process. So normally, in the past, I could do a lot of these things very um, efficiently, but now I just do them partially as I'm in the rebuilding process. But anyway, I'm going to demonstrate some of the things that I do. These are the discs at Sunset Park, and you just kind of swing from one to the other. But the idea is when you're playing like a kid out here, you see them doing things that are just amazing that adults would have very hard to do time doing, and they do them so easily. And in my opinion, we would be able to do this fluently like they do if the playground, so to speak, were never taken away from us. Yet it is when we reach, 7, 8, 9 years old and enter, the school systems. They move us away from the playgrounds and take us into the recess courts and asphalt playgrounds with kickball and square ball and all that kind of stuff. And that's cool if you like that kind of thing. But it doesn't emulate the swinging nature that you get on a playground that I think is tremendously good for the body, or in a tree. Because I'll be demonstrating climbing in a tree too. But one of the best things I love about climbing a tree is just literally swinging on the limbs. And this really elongates my spine and does tremendous things for my body. If I don't do this every week, I can literally feel my body compacting. And this is the only activity I've found that can really um, do it to this level. I know there's various machines out there where you hang upside down and bars you can hang from. I have some of these in my dwelling. But to get out here and play on the playground, to play on the trees, makes it so much at a different level, in my opinion. And again, I think if the playground were never taken away from us, moving into adulthood, that we would have bodies in a lot better shape, and a lot less problems with our backs and things like this. Um, I was diagnosed when I was very young, about the age 18, of having a severe arthritic condition in my back. And while I think it was a bit of a misdiagnosis, I believe there was some truth in it, because if I don't do these things, my back really shuts down quickly. But if I do these things, these activities of the week, I'm extremely active, extremely healthy, and love life. So anyway, without further ado, here's the swinging um, circles. So I just uh, swing from one to the other like this. But the best, I can feel my back crack right away when I just hang, and that's when you start this. See, you may not be very able to do many of these things that the kids do on the playground. Again, with my shoulders the way they are, I can't do them as well as I used to either. But I'm probably going to build back up to that over the course of the next year or two. Um, but the most important thing is just to do the activity as much as you can. Don't force it. Don't hurt yourself. Don't strain yourself. The idea is to have fun and enjoy it. Even just a simple hang, keeping your feet on the ground, even hanging, you will feel your spine release. And moving out through these playground activities, just do them just a little bit, just to have fun, just to be on the playground. Your body will loosen up, your your spirit will loosen up, things will move. The world becomes brighter. That's my experience anyway. So anyway, I'll do these at a certain level, but do them however you can. Just like I say, a simple hang is tremendously beneficial in my opinion. So that's kind of the general idea, and then I just kind of grab them like this and hang a little more. Now my body's a little stiffer than this morning than on other mornings. Other mornings I can swing across more fluently, but this morning it's my body's just not doing it. So again, I don't get angry or impatient. This is my body this morning, and I honor that. I love it, and I love doing this. So whatever level I can do it at on the given week is what level I do it at, and it's just tremendously uplifting. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera over a different direction and show these hanging apparatuses. And again, you can just go from one to the other. I've got my feet on the ground. If you can't see that, I guess you can't, but that's the way I am this morning. So I'm just going to go from one to the other with my feet on the ground and feel the stretch. And oftentimes I'll grab these and turn upside down and hang upside down as well. And maybe do a pull-up, stretch, just jump up and hang. I'll do pull-ups throughout, just kind of periodically. But you can see now, I'll just take this with me, and there's just a slew of different things that you can do on this little playground. And for instance, I won't do this today, but I'll go across these things. But holding the camera might be a little difficult, but I'll just show coming up these stairs and setting the camera up here. You can see this. This is a great activity too, where you can find something just to lift yourself off the ground like this, and that does a different thing to the spine with the lower back. It really loosens up and stretches the lower back when you can find something to go up like this, even twisting the body around some. But again, to whatever level you can do it at, even keeping your feet on the ground and just raising up slightly, you'll feel that lower lumbar release, and it's tremendously a great feeling. I'll do things, just climb around on it, balance. Sometimes I'll go over like this, get the head rush, look at the sun. Very beautiful from this angle. Come back up. And I'll just continue to take the camera with me and do various things. Hang on these. Just hang. Maybe do a pull up here a bit. And I'll get up on this this thing here. Let me see if the camera's, yep, camera's right. So here's another one where I kind of swivel around, get on top of these. So yeah, just doing various things on the playground. Anything that inspires you. Sometimes I drop and swing like this. Again, really fun and doing great things for the back. And then I'll slide down the slide. This is my new selfie stick, so I'm kind of learning how to use it more efficiently. I'll tighten this down. Yeah, now I'm going down the slide. As you can see, ow, it's fun. And then coming over here, I'll reset up the stick here real quick. And this is a great little kids climbing wall, and it's just fun to do various things on it. Climbing up, getting over the top, just doing various things. Fun. Jumping back down. And then there's this cool little thing here where you can slide down. Hold on to. Like that. And it feels really good on the back. And then they've got this beautiful water park over here that the kids love during the day. And if it's in the middle of the summer and I'm playing here, I'll come and cool down in the water park. But these water apparatuses are great to just kind of do various things on like this. Get on top of, and flipping over like this. Oh, spinning my head around feels good. There's a beautiful juniper tree over here where the limbs are really spaced nicely. And that's the thing, if you can find a tree where the limbs are really spaced nicely. And I know that can be difficult. That really can be sometimes difficult, finding a tree that's really spaced nicely. Of all the trees in Sedona, I can think of 4 or 5 that I can really get a good climb in, a good swing on. And so this is one of those at the park. It's been trimmed nicely. I know there's some in Cottonwood right by the library that are awesome swinging trees. I'm going to try to position this camera so you can see me up there. See what that looks like. Yeah, one of the first things I do on this tree is to skin the cat. And just coming upside down again, hanging. And this does another thing for the back. When you can hang like this, it's just, there's hanging straight up, there's doing that sort of straddle thing that I did, and then this. They all do a little bit different for the back. And I'll come back around. But again, do it at your own level. I'm sure there's people who do this stuff a lot better than me, and there's people that won't be able to do it as good as me. But you want to do it at your own level, at your own pace, and have fun. That's the main thing. And feel the spirit of it all, because it releases so much, in my opinion, and makes life a brighter, better place. All right. And two, with the trees that are great, is I and many believe probably most people do believe there's an energy in trees. They're alive. And when you touch them, you can feel that. And trees are connected with their roots to other trees. There's even been experiments done to show that trees can communicate with each other and even share soil with each other to keep each other alive. And so I personally believe when you're climbing a tree, you're connecting with other trees and other energies of the earth. And it's very grounding and uplifting. So that's another advantage of taking time out with a tree. All right. Okay, that's kind of a short demonstration of some of the things I just do in a tree, just climbing around, swinging from branches. You'll be mindful of keeping 3 points of contact. This is a low tree, nice and safe, juniper tree. But there's some that I do, the sycamore particularly, that I go up pretty high in. But I've been doing it for a long time, so it feels good and safe. But I always try to keep 3 points of contact, unless I'm hanging. But then I've usually got a limb underneath me that, if in case I would drop, I would be able to potentially put my foot or do some type of break or fall. But there is some danger involved when you get up to a higher tree. I'm not going to deny that. But a lot of things we do in life have some danger involved, and it can be exciting, adrenaline. I guess there's that line between doing something too dangerous or what. I don't feel tree climbing is going beyond that. Actually, I personally believe the most dangerous thing we do is get in a car and drive, statistically speaking. So this is far safer than that. All right, so that's the tree climbing. I'm going to move over to show some of the things I just do in the field, gymnastic wise. Okay, so I'm over in a field now, next to the park, and I'll try to keep the camera so you can kind of see my feet mostly and not my face, but you'll probably be able to hear my voice. And these are just going to be general, like, plyometric gymnastic movements, maybe a dance or martial arts movement. Anything that I feel like doing is what I do. And on this particular day, it seems to be more gymnastic oriented. I've never had much of a gymnastic class, so I'm just very basic what I do. I'm sure, again, there's people that can do this a lot better than me, and then some that won't be able to do it as good as me. But again, do it at your own desire. But my idea is just to move and do sporadic movements that have a lot of lift to them, and we're springing out and feeling the joy of that, and maybe doing a roll. Just to feel that, and I'll just demonstrate what I do. Okay, I'm going to turn my shirt inside out so I don't get it grass stained. Normally I have a shirt that's better for getting grass stains on. Forgot to wear it, so I'm going to turn this one inside out. Okay, shirt's inside out. All systems go. Let's do some plyometric type of movements. And do a little bit of going upside down. Usually at this point in the week, my body's still a little maybe sore from the weekend, dancing a lot or something, or just not really in the full flow. Usually my body's in the fullest flow on Fridays and Saturdays towards the end of the week. So at the beginning of the week, my movements are less full, and that's all right. It's just kind of a building process, and I enjoy it. And that's what I encourage others to do as well. I'll just do like a simple roll. Take my necklace off here for this portion of it. Grass is a little wet this morning, but that's all right. This shirt will dry. Yeah, just doing rolls, jumping around. I like to do the full sort of handstand and then over to the foot plant like this. And the backward bend. And all the way up. Again, my body's a little stiff this portion of the week. Sometimes that's a lot quicker and more graceful looking, but sometimes not. But when I first got back out here to Sedona, I couldn't do any of this. So my body's in a lot better state than it was, which I'm very, very, very happy and grateful about. So anyway, I'm going to continue just to move around. Obviously, you can fast forward this video anytime you want to get to the next part. The next part's just going to be rock throwing. I like to do some weightlifting too, but by and large, I like to keep my body in shape muscularly by doing more natural activities. It seems to work best for my body. Strongest I ever was when I worked on a farm when I was 16, stacking cucumber boxes and bean boxes and bushels, and it was amazing how strong I was just doing that. And so I try to emulate activities like that. It's just fun for me and just seems to work for my body. So maybe it'll work for yours. Okay, so you get the idea, and I'm going to pause it now, do some more of this, and come back to the rock throwing. Okay, so this is the rock throwing portion of the event day, the Tuesday, so to speak. Now, I have specific activities that I do on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but sometimes I can't get to those activities on those specific days, so they'll be moved over. Like today's actually a Friday. I had a very busy tour week, so I'm doubling up, doing some of my activities on this day. Probably do this one, and then the martial arts today, do two today. But anyway, that's the idea. Generally, this program was developed for specific days of the week. That's how I was inspired to do it, but they can be moved. Flexibility, of course. But anyway, I'm in what's called a desert wash, stream bed, dry stream bed area, and has lots of rocks, which is what I want. And oftentimes in these stream bed areas too, when I pick up a rock, it's less likely to have an insect underneath it, so I'm less likely to be disturbing its habitat. And also, if it were a venomous insect like a scorpion, less chance of that. So I recommend some caution when you're unearthing a rock or lifting up a rock, that there could be an insect underneath it, so might be mindful of that. And that's why I choose the washes. There just seems to be less, because obviously water runs in them periodically, so insects don't like to build their homes here. But I'll just pick up a rock maybe of this size. and sort of use it as like a shot put and throw it like that, or like a discus. And you'll probably be able to see some of the movement. Again, I'm limited with the camera situation here, but you get the general idea. And it's just, first of all, just the motion of picking it up like that, I think, is an amazing movement. Again, like working on a farm. And the throwing is, a lot of body parts are involved in that. And then the release, to heave it up like that is just, it feels so great. And that's why I like to do rock throwing. I've been doing this for years and making the claim that it's tremendously good for the body to do these natural activities. And then that show came out that was the strongman competitions. You might be familiar with those, where it was events like rolling big rock balls and lifting objects of log nature or rock nature. Or you've probably seen it. It's all these natural like activities to test who was the strongest man in the world. And inevitably it ended up being the men who were involved in activities like logging or mining or things like this that seemed to be the strongest. These natural farming, these natural activities, these men were succeeding the best. And I think they did some weight training too, but by and large the bodybuilders didn't do as good as the guys who were just the natural workers and doing things naturally. And I personally believe that these types of activities build strength in the body in a way that the bodybuilding cannot. And bodybuilding has its place, I think, for strengthening specific muscles, especially with physical therapy, and building specific muscles. But these natural activities, I think, build a core strength, even in sports, even for training for sports. These core activities, the best I ever was in basketball was when I was working on a farm, and that core strength was being developed. I would weight lift for basketball, and it had its place, but it didn't compare to the strength I gained from being on that farm and how it allowed me to play basketball. So anyway, this is rock throwing. All right. Just even it out. Rock. I usually go get the same rock or pick up a similar rock, bring it back and throw it. And this is a bigger rock, so this is gonna offer a different experience. Sometimes you guys throw it on the ground like that. Feels good. It's a different body movement. Sometimes I use it like a discus and throw it around like this. You can really feel that core. And again, just picking this thing up off the earth, you can feel a tremendous amount of movements in your muscles that happen just picking it up. In weightlifting, there's a lot of bench pressing and activities, but you're not picking something up directly from the ground. And that's a big difference in the muscle movements, in my opinion. I always like to say, in my opinion. Okay, so you get the idea. I'll probably do a little more, but this concludes my Tuesday. Again, I want to stress, any of these activities, I really encourage doing them at your own pace. If you've never done any of this stuff before, or if your body's in a healing state, just even picking up a simple rock that big and tossing it, the motion itself, being out here and participating in it is huge. When I first got back to Arizona, from Indiana, when I went through with what I did, I could barely walk, much less do a pull-up, climb in a tree, run. Couldn't do any of it. Could barely put my own coat back on. And so I would just do these activities barely, it was a spiritual thing for me. To be able to do them was just spiritual. Just the movement in pretend was spiritual for me, and uplifting. And then gradually over the course of a year, it started coming back more and more. Actually, of about 2 years to be exact. And I'm still building again with my shoulders. So again, whether you're healing or whether you've never done this before, do these actions even just in thought out here, or just a basic motion. And it's fun just to be out here, and you'll see in time, I believe, how your body will just slowly start to acclimate it to it. It's sort of even like a mental thing. When you start thinking about something and even having the idea of what it looks like and you're doing it, your body just naturally starts to mold towards those thoughts, is what I've experienced. It's my opinion. Or you might be someone who's far more advanced in this stuff than me at this point, so it'll be even more vigorous for you in inventing different styles and activities on the playgrounds and trees and gymnastics and rock throwing. So whatever level you're at, please, I encourage, appreciate that, and just be out here and enjoy the process. Thank you. Much love.